Jean Piaget developed the stages of cognitive development within children. Cognitive development refers to changes in thinking, reasoning, and decision making. It is best used when learning through information processing, reasoning, and memory.
Cognitive development has 4 different stages. The first stage is the sensory motor stage, which ranges from birth to 2 years old. The next stage is the pre-operational stage, which ranges from ages 2 to 7. The next stage is concrete operational stage, which ranges from age 7 to 11. And the final stage is formal operational stage, which ranges from age 12 and up. Piaget believed that children were an essential part in their learning process. As kids interact with the world around them, they continually add new knowledge, build on existing knowledge, and adapt previous ideas to the new information.
As a future teacher, this is important to your classroom because in order to understand that students are continually learning and growing, Piaget's theory takes the viewpoint that creating knowledge and intelligence is a constant, active process. In this video, we are exploring the cognitive development theory in a physical education/weight training classroom. In the following interviews, we are going to explore how the thinking, process, and actions of these teachers and students reflect Piaget's theory of cognitive development.
In the first few interviews, we met up with Coach Weekly at Central A&M High School and asked him some questions regarding his strategies for teaching. Questions such as, how do you teach weightlifting at the beginning of each school year? How do you keep the students on track all year long with proper lifting? And in what ways are the students learning techniques?
How do you teach lifting at the beginning of the school year?
Make sure that every student knows the basics of everything, and we have demonstrations. We have the kids do it. We talk about certain aspects of each lift that we want them to focus on, and make sure that try to keep it to 3 or 4 things in which they need to focus on those core lifts, and all the auxiliaries are basic things that we do that build off the core lifts.
How long does it take for the kids to start to be able to see the lift on the board and be able to do it on their own?
We make them read the lift, write it down in their own notebook, in which they're keeping track of their data so that they know where they're at. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes to write it down, and then if you're asking about how long it takes probably 3 to 4 different times in the weight room for them to understand the actual aspects of the lift and remember exactly what I'm asking of them.
After you teach the lift for the first time, do you see them using the proper technique, or do they go back to their old ways?
I think with anything, any skill, lifting's a skill. You have to work at it and practice it and continue to work on even the little details in which we do in the auxiliary lifts to help them get better. So to answer your question, sometimes people are naturals in which they're able to do it right away, and sometimes it takes little things, a little coaching to make sure that they are more fine-tuned to make sure they can do the lift correctly.
When it comes to activities, do you have to teach the students the skills, or do they already know the skills to perform the activity?
By the time they get to me, I'm a high school teacher, by the time they get to me, they already know the skills of those activities. I just have to define the rules of the activity itself, and they're able to perform them.
In the videos, Coach Weekly began by stating that at the beginning of the school year, he demonstrated the proper lifting techniques and strategies for each student. This effort was put in place to lay a foundation for the students over the course of the school year. In the next video, Coach explained the daily routine for each of his students. In the weight room, there is a board that lists the daily lifts for each day. After taking time to write down and keep record of what is on the agenda for the day, the students then complete the list by memory. Coach further explains that lifting is a skill and is something that you have to work on in order to be successful. Not every student may get it right the first time, but that is where coaching comes in, and the goal is to keep teaching the proper ways, and then eventually the students will master the goal. Like with activities, by the time students reach the formal operational stage in Piaget's theory, age 12 and up, they already have a foundation of information concerning how to do the lifts and how to play the game. So from that point, it is just the students build onto their existing knowledge and adapt their new information to the previous ideas.
The following is an interview with one of the students from Central A&M High School who is a senior in the weight training class. This student has been in the weight training class for 4 years and shares with us how he learned his lifts and his view on his abilities now.
When you were a freshman, did you know how to do all of the lifts, or was it all new?
Some of it was new. Over the summer, coming into freshman year, we had weightlifting over the summer where the high school teachers taught us the weightlifting teacher taught us how to do some lifts, but some of it was new.
Do you know what each lift is, and can you do it properly now?
Yes, I can. The coaches really taught you how to do the lifts. I'm a senior now, and coming through the years, the coach really taught you how to do all the lifts properly.
This student shares with us how there was a foundation of the proper lifting techniques and activities his freshman year, and because of that, he now feels confident in his ability to perform each of these lifts and activities from memory. As Coach Weekly had explained, over the course of 4 years, the students continually build on their foundation of what they already know. The students are presented the lifts on day 1, given the reasoning behind why you need to do it correctly, and then they memorize it so that they can carry that information with them forever. These are all examples of cognitive development.
Effective strategies for implementing Piaget's theory of cognitive development in the classroom can be done in multiple ways. The easiest way is to implement it into the curriculum and instruction for your students. In the curriculum, plan your teaching to reach the students' full logical and conceptual growth. Piaget explains that students have mental maps. If an experience is repeated, it fits easily into the child's cognitive structure to maintain mental equilibrium. However, if an experience is new, the child will lose the equilibrium and they will work to accommodate the new conditions. This allows the students to have more and more adequate cognitive structures. This is best represented when you, as the teacher, push your students beyond what they think is capable. This was shown in physical education with Coach Weekly when he planned what skills to teach his students at the beginning of the year. Within instruction, it is important to understand the effect of collaborative relationships with your students. Know how the experiences or interactions that your students have within their environment shape their learning and how it enables them to prepare for the future. Within physical education, this was demonstrated when a student from Central A&M High School explained how he already knew the basics of the content, but after clear instruction and demonstration by the teachers, he now is confident in all of his lifts and his accuracy while performing them. Setting curriculum and planning instruction for students to build their own prior knowledge and grow in their learning will help you have a successful classroom or weight room someday.